Moke and Friends, welcome to Moke and Friends. It's April 22nd. Today I have a very good friend of mine, Jerica. She is in St. Croix. We will be talking about, I don't know, a bunch of random shit, I'm sure. But I still suck at this whole introduction thing, so I will just bring her in. Did you see all that?
Yeah.
Uh, man, I'm sorry. Like I need to work on that. I really do.
Hey, it's all right. It's progress, not perfection.
How are you? How are you?
Um,
Which Jerry am I getting today? Am I getting the American accent Jerry or the? Because I heard your accent
you
hit.
gonna get it both. The both of them too.
How are you?
I'm good at you. You know my stateside accent come out when I'm talking to you though.
I know. Weren't you were just in where Miami?
I was in Miami and then I was in Jordan before
Where? In Jordan,
that.
Jordan.
Jordan. In Jordan, Jordan, yes, in
See,
Jordan.
see
Like the Middle
when
East, like halfway around the world, like a 12
see.
hour flight.
Okay, see, it's funny you say that because when I was asked you earlier about the shit you're doing, you just kind of downplayed all this shit. You didn't even
No,
mention this. Nigga, like when I was asking you, you didn't even mention you went to Jordan. I just thought you was in Miami.
no.
In
Well, Miami wasn't even Florida. Was I wasn't necessarily in Miami. I was more like in Orlando, and that wasn't even supposed to happen. That just I extended my stay because you got a flight from St. Croix to then Florida, and then I flew from Florida to Turkey, and then Turkey to Jordan, and then the same way back. So instead of
Yo, how
like,
long were you in Turkey? Don't quit skipping over the international
li-
shit.
listen, that flight. First of all, that 12-hour flight from Miami to Turkey
Mm.
is the worst ever. Like it's just crazy. I find it funny that it's okay for us to be like six, like not even an inch apart from each other, but we gotta be
Yeah.
6 feet apart in a line. I'm just saying, let me just point that out.
Oh
I
wait,
find
wait.
it
Y'all had
funny.
to wait 6 feet apart in the line, but y'all couldn't sit next. But y'all had to sit next to each other.
Yeah, like the plane is full, so everybody sit next to each other. There's no like skip a chair. Like if there's three
Oh,
chairs in a row, there's three people in that chair, in that row. So
yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
how is it okay that we can sit right next to each other, but in a line at the grocery store, you talking about 6 feet apart? Like that's just funny to me. But yeah,
Yeah, that's
then,
crazy.
then the layover in Turkey was like on the way up, the layover was like 4 hours. That was
Was Turkey beautiful?
we was only in the airport.
I mean, but I mean, did what you
That's a
saw?
huge. It's a huge fucking airport. Like it's ridiculous. Like it was me and my mom. So when we got off at the gate, mind you, they're like very rude. You know what I mean? Like you're like, excuse me, you're trying to ask like where you're going, and they're just like watching you like I guess because they don't speak English, but at least damn it, say no speak no English or something. But it was
Wow.
I felt like we walked like 30 minutes. And then we finally got to the area where like there was stores and food court
Yeah.
and everything. And that I'm not gonna lie, it was stupid huge, like ridiculously huge.
Is
But
it expensive?
honestly, I wouldn't know. This was an opportunity afforded to me, so I wouldn't know about the expenses because everything was paid.
No, I'm talking about the food at the fucking airport in
Oh,
Turkey.
well, it's that well, because I had American money, they had to convert it and shit like that.
Mm.
I wouldn't say it's that expensive. Like certain things that I bought was like not that expensive. I was like, wow, like, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
You
So,
know,
so from Turkey to Jordan, how long was that flight?
like 2 hours.
So did Gio go?
No, it was just me and my mom.
So what did y'all go to Jordan for?
Well, my mom's close friends with the Arab that has a shop behind her, and it's always been like her dream to go to Petra, see Petra, and things like that. So we went over there. Like it was an opportunity. We went over there. We was hosted by his family. It was nice. Like I fell in love with falafel. Like that's
What's
just
that?
fire.
Who is that?
It's like it's a ball. that's made that they use like chickpea and like coriander and garlic and onion and stuff like that, and they like process it in like a grinder, and then they
Yeah,
make it into a ball and fry it. That with some hummus, oh, to die for. That shit is
yeah.
like I could
So,
eat that at breakfast, lunch, dinner. I don't care. Give it to me. But
so
yeah, it was
how long were y'all there?
2 weeks.
How
I
was
was
the living arrangement?
the living. It was nice because we were in a basically we had a whole apartment to ourselves. Um, like I felt like that song for Rick Ross, my bitch tiptoeing on the marble floors. Cause listen, I'm telling you, it was beautiful. It was like I felt like like how you feel like Arabian Nights. You think Arabian Nights is just like everything gold and just like speckles of gold and marble and just earthy colors, and it was beautiful. The
Yeah.
apartment was nice. It was really
Was
nice.
it was it hot?
Um, there was certain days that it was hot, but then there was other days that it was really cold. And then at nighttime, certain time, oh my God, I'm like, but I cruise on, so I get cold like quick.
Yo, let me tell you something. When we were talking earlier, and I was asked you how the weather was there, you were like, "Well, it's spring going to summer." You know what I'm saying, nigga?
So it's hot.
It's spring going to summer, but nigga, yesterday it was like 30 degrees yesterday.
Well, that's because you that over there. Yes, just probably a little bit more, so I don't have to keep asking. Yes, but you in Texas, like so the weather there is funny as shit.
Nigga, like since I came back from the islands, I've been miserable whenever it's anything below 50. Like I
I'm
shut the fuck down.
when it gets to 60 something. Like once it starts getting to the 60s, I'm crying. I'm like,
Yeah.
why am I here?
So when y'all was in Jordan, y'all had to wear the all the stuff.
Yeah, okay, so apparently it's not necessary that you cover your hair because they really have let up on a lot of the laws over there. Um
But nigga,
but
but I saw you covered up, and I know how you like to
because
dress.
listen, because I know you know how I dress. Because like they're watching you funny. You know what I mean? Like when I showed up there, my hair out, like like all in all its glory, and they're like watching me, like who the fuck is this? And I was like, oh no, y'all not about to do that. Let me go get me a goddamn burqa, a hijab, whatever, and let's cover this shit up so I can look the part. Like I went to certain places and they didn't know that we were American. Like sometimes they were talking to us and I'm like, I don't speak that. So
Yeah,
close the door. I don't speak that. And they're like, oh, like so yeah, it helps. It helps when you don't want to be calling too much
notice.
attention to yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it helped out a lot because I was getting frustrated. I'm like, y'all watching me so
So,
much.
so did y'all do anything special, ritual like? Because you said y'all do rituals. Did y'all do that there? And what are
uh,
rituals?
okay, well, rituals are all dependent on what you want it to be. You understand? It can be very simple. A ritual can be what you do every day. Like if you wake up in the morning and you make tea, and when you put your little bit of sugar in it, and you say something like, bless me with strength and patience and the courage to face my fears. And you say
Yeah.
that every day, that's a ritual. You know what I'm saying? So and by doing that, you're like decreeing it, you're already creating that energy, so you're making it happen, you know? So that's basically ritual. So it depends on what the occasion is or what we're gonna do. It can be different what we're doing.
So what type do y'all do?
We didn't really do much of any ritual over there.
No, I just mean period. It don't got to be over there. It can be
Oh,
just in
period.
general.
Like, well, on my own, I've done my own little, you know, I've done a burial ritual.
A
Um,
what? A
when you want to
burial?
bury things, when you want to bury things or people out of your life, yeah. Not
When
necessarily.
you
It's not like you're killing them, but you're burying them out of your life so they no longer. coexist in your space,
So
or affect you in any way.
how does one bury a person?
Um, you can do it different ways, but the way I did it, and this was years ago, but from what I can remember, I had a jar, like a mason jar, and I wrote on a there was a brown paper, a parchment paper, because it's preferable that when you're doing stuff like this, they use like parchment paper. Shit, if you can get Dragon Blood's ink, that's even better to write it in. But
What is
typically
that? Dragon's blood ink.
it's a resin. It's a resin. So if you get, or you could just write it in pencil on the parchment paper, and you write whatever it is, whether it's people or certain feelings or fears or things like that, distortions in within your own psyche, whatever that you want to get rid of, and then you put the paper in the jar. Um, I put rubber bands, I think it was something like that, rubber bands, pins, bobby pins, like rubber bands to bind it,
Mm.
bobby pins to pin it down, certain things of that nature, things that keep things held down. And then you bury it. Typically, you would bury that somewhere that you're never going to walk over again. Like you would
Uh,
bury that jar somewhere that you're never going to cross over where that jar is.
why?
Because by walking over that jar, you can break that.
Like literally break the jar or
No,
figuratively break the jar?
break whatever you put out. So if you put out for, like, let's say if you buried me because I did something to you and you just didn't want to think about me anymore. You want to get me out your life, make sure that I don't ever contact you, whatever. You bury me. And if you end up walking over that jar again, you basically unbury me. So then eventually I'll end up contacting you. You understand? Or somehow I end up
Right.
reintegrated in your life somehow.
So what's the radius? Like how far can you not, or can you just not walk over it?
You just cannot walk over the very same spot, like where it's buried. Of course, if it's like, like I'm here, it's right here. I can walk around. You know what I mean? I just can't walk
Right.
over it. You know?
Okay. And
Yeah.
so when you bury something, what is the process that you put in your mind to not think about it? Or like say if I buried you, then what am I doing to help myself not contact you or not give in
Well,
to
whenever
picking up if
you
you call?
Well, see, I don't know how it works for everybody, but me, I'm the type of person that if I want to forget about something, trust me, I'll forget about it. Like, I'll take the second to cry it out, and then I'll get it out my system, and I'll
Mm.
completely forget about it. Because I'll tell myself like I want to forget this, because see, like the words are very powerful. That's why they say be careful what you say, because words carry a lot of weight. So if you constantly say and repeat the same thing, it'll eventually become real. So if you say, I want to forget this, I want to forget this, I want to forget this, eventually you forget it. And the other way you make sure that you stay away is that if you so happen to think about me, you just be like, nope. It's like figuratively shake that shit off your mind. Like,
Yeah.
nope, I'm not gonna think about her. Like, even if you gotta like not necessarily send me bad vibes, but be like, I wish her the best, but I don't care about her anymore. Like I have nothing to, you can do that too. And eventually with time, you'll find yourself not even thinking about me
Yeah.
because you done did it so much, you repeated it so much that it drilled itself in your brain, and then you completely forget about who I am. I've literally forgotten about people like that.
Interesting.
Even people from high school and stuff like that. It's like you bring up their name, I'm like, what? Who? And until you show me, I won't. Sometimes I won't even remember if you show me because I
Yeah.
literally blank that person. I've walked past people, and then they turn around and like hit me up a messenger, like, "Yo, I saw you the other day. You just walked past." I didn't, what? I saw you where? Like, I didn't see you because I
I'm pretty sure you've done that to me.
no, never.
Nah,
I love you, Bookie.
I'm talking shit.
You know that.
So okay, so that's what's another ritual like? I guess a positive energy ritual. Do y'all have that?
Yeah, like if you wanna,
Well, and
if you wanna wash off
before,
like negative energy off of you or something like that, like you could simply like you could go in the shower and do that. Like when you go in the shower, right at the end of the day, before you go to bed, you could be like in the shower and just visualize like, all the stuff that you went through today that may have been negatively impacting you, and visualize the water washing that shit off for you. You understand? And at the same time, like saying to yourself or saying out loud, because the verb is, it causes, when you speak, it causes
Mm.
vibration, its frequency, its energy. So you understand? So it's power. So speaking it out loud is even better. So like if you're in the shower, you be like, please remove all this negative energy off of me. I don't want to feel this. I don't want to be this. You know what I'm saying? And you could do like that. Rituals can be that simple that you just use water, because water
Yeah.
is a conduit. So it's one of the strongest, most powerful elements. So just water alone is enough. That's why there's a lot of times when I'm feeling like, "Ooh, I can't take it no more," I'm at the beach.
Mm.
I'm straight at the beach. I'm in the water, and I'm like, "Did my God take this from me? Release me, because I don't want to feel this." It's,
I
it's a
feel
lot
that.
of different ways. Even cleaning was a ritual. You know that, right? Like when our grandmothers and shit used to clean. And if you ever seen your grandmother or your aunt or any Caribbean older lady sweeping, and you see when they're sweeping, they're like mumbling under their breath. Trust me, they're doing a ritual right there. They're sweeping out the negative energy, whatever, bad spirits, getting rid of everything. You
Yeah.
understand? Like, we've been doing this shit for years. Since the beginning of time, we've been doing rituals. Everything we do is a ritual. They call it a routine. That's a ritual. It's the same shit.
Okay, now since from the last time I seen you, which is probably what, like maybe 2020, um, what like something has changed in a good way, in a good way.
I'm shining.
Well, no, that too, but
Yeah,
like, cause
I
you
left
weren't,
quality.
you
So
what?
I left quality. So that took like
Oh,
a load of stress off of me.
oh yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm in a house now. I'm not
yeah,
in
I
the
yeah,
backyard.
y'all been there. Yeah, your house is pretty dope. I think I saw when y'all moved there. I think
Yeah,
Gia or
probably
somebody
did.
showed.
Probably did. So yeah, I mean,
So you're happier.
I am, like, cause I'm not that stressed. Like I'm more so focused trying to be like a better mom. You know what I'm saying, to Izzy, because he's getting older. He's about to be
Yeah.
4 years. He's about to be 18. So it's like I'm just trying to make these last years with him really, really count, so that he can be a good person when he gets
Yeah.
older, and not be out there doing ratchet shit. And then basically just focusing on, like, I've really been focusing on, like, spiritually, like elevating myself. That's probably the difference you've seen. Like I still, I'm only human, so I still got my moments where I have my temper and shit, but I'm far more patient than I used to be. I have
Yeah.
more restraint than I used to have. Like, because I really had to be alone for a long time. Like, I almost lost my life. I lost my two dogs. I lost my guinea pig, like, all within like 3 months, back to back to back to back. And
In St. Croix?
hmm yeah, first my
You're a guinea pig?
yeah, I had a guinea pig. I had
I'm not
got
laughing at you. I'm laughing at your friends laughing at me saying guinea pig.
You saw my guinea pig when you came by my mom's yard in Christian said.
I
I
thought
had
that was a pig.
No, it was a guinea pig. So he died November 1st. And then I had to put my pit bull down because I believe one of my neighbors poisoned my dogs. I had to put her down on November 23rd. And then before November 23rd, I got hit by a car while I was doing that spiritual run. I got hit by a car on November 14th, and then November 23rd, I had to put my dog down. Then I was safe for like a month because December didn't really happen. And then here comes January, my other dog, I had to put him, he died. I didn't get to put him down because I thought he was just sick, but then I caught on that it was the same fucking thing that my other dog was going through, and that's why I
Mm.
put her down. I was like, yeah, somebody poisoned my dogs. Ain't no way in hell.
But
Two different
but
dogs.
do you think that maybe they ate like a centipede or something?
No, babe, that's not gonna kill a dog.
I
That's
don't
not gonna kill
know.
a dog. My when I had to put my dog down is because the vet told me to. Because she did ran tests on her, and they checked to see if like maybe frog poisoning, but it was not
Yeah.
frog poisoning, or what it's called, like poo something with a P, some shit like that. And
Parvo?
parvo, that's what they checked for. They checked for parvo. It was not parvo, right? So,
Mm.
and I know there's no frogs up here. I barely see frogs over here. You understand? Only when it rains. So,
It rains like every day.
no, so it wasn't parvo, but she had kidney failure. And when I looked up, like, what does poison do? The first thing it does is attack your kidney. It gives you kidney failure. So, and then when the second dog was dying, and I literally watched how he died, because I had him with me. I'm trying to nurse him back to health. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't even have the money to take him to the vet. Like, I just left my job. Like, I just quit. You know what I mean? So it was a lot going on, and I watched how he died. I'm like, yeah, they definitely poisoned the dogs, man.
Did you ever ask your neighbor?
I'm gonna tell you why I'm not gonna ask him on private.
So,
Okay?
so you just accusing this nigga and he probably don't
No,
even
listen,
know.
I know why. It's one of them, and I have a feeling I know exactly who, because they would be the only one that's gonna access this yard. Because my yard and their backyard kind of like correlates, almost like you just gotta walk through a little bit.
And this is the
So,
neighbor at your new house?
mhm.
Okay.
Because they already left a note talking about my dog was barking. But that note was left after I put down my first dog, and the other dog was barking and crying because he was mourning the loss of the other dog. Like, it's no compassion, but it is what it is. I got one is buried here, and then the other one, the one that I put down in the vet, I had her cremated, so I got her ashes in my room. So that was my baby. You know, it's my baby.
Damn, that sucks. Tell me about, did you get hit by a car?
So we was doing a spiritual run, because
What is it? What's the spiritual run?
okay, so every 4 years, the indigenous tribes all over the world do a spiritual run, where it's basically they run the whole, whatever it is, the island or the continent or whatever.
Are you from a tribe?
Yeah, we're
What?
Tainos.
Who?
Tainos.
Wait, so is that tribe as in like
That's
Native American or Puerto
the
Rican?
indigenous Puerto Rican, the indigenous native Puerto Ricans. My mom has a very high percentage of indigenous blood in her DNA.
Okay.
So so we was every 4 years, all the indigenous tribes all over the world do this run every 4 years,
Yeah.
and it's basically running across either your island or whatever continent you live on or whatever, and it's to raise the vibrations in prayer, raising the vibrations of the land, praying for healing, and those kind of positive stuff. So we started at like 4 o'clock in the morning on the west side by Bud Hill Park, and we was going all the way down to where we camp, because that's where we have, like, our sacred circle. So I started at the front with the what we call with the grandfather, which is like a staff, kind of looks like a hawk, which is badass. So I'm running with it because the person holding it has to run in the front. So I'm running with it, and we had a truck in the front with saging the path. Like, the truck that was in the front of me while I'm running had sage and all kind of stuff saging our path, right? And then
Like burning sage?
yeah, burning sage, going down the road while we're running,
Nice.
protect us, whatever. Then there were two cars behind us. It was me, I was running, Izzy was running, and like maybe three other people, right? My mom included. So we're going. Mind you, COVID had just basically started and shit, so the staff was low in the police department, so they couldn't give us how you call it,
Escort.
escort for this, right? Because they're short staffed, whatever. Mind you, we really didn't need an escort because, again, it's only three cars, and it's
Right.
only a few of us. It's not a lot of us, and we're doing it early in the morning where we're not
There's
in
only two of
traffic.
y'all running?
No, it was about five of us running,
Mm.
and we're running early morning to not impede traffic on a Saturday morning. Ain't nobody out at this time. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
a few cars here and there. We passed the police station. Boom, they pulled us over after a while. Like we're going through West Side on the main road, and there was like how we can't have the cars in front of us, and then we can't be running on the road. Whatever. They called this the sergeant or whatever, a supervisor, and he was like that we can go ahead as long as the cars go ahead of us. Like they can't be we can't have the truck in front of us and the two cars behind of us. Again, I don't give a fuck how anybody feels. I blame the VIPD for what happens to me because
Wait,
if they would have left the cars where they were at because they weren't bothering nobody, I would have never got hit by a car. So
but did the car go behind you?
listen. So the truck in front of us goes, the two cars behind us leave. So it's just me, my mom, my son, a Rasta dude named Ras John, and a white lady. I can't remember her name. All right. We're
Hmm.
going. I'm at least 5 to 10 feet ahead from the other four running behind me. So we're going, we're going, we're going. I look back and one, and I'm like, I see headlights coming, and I'm like, yo, y'all watch out for cars. And I keep going, and I move closer to the side where the grass is, and I'm going, and I'm going. All of a sudden, I'm hit.
Wait, and is it dark outside?
It was 4 o'clock in the morning. That's why we did the run so
Oh,
early, so we wouldn't be impeding traffic. You
okay.
understand?
Yeah, yeah.
And but if the two cars were still behind us, that person would have
Right.
saw those two cars and would have stopped or went around the two cars. But there was no cars there. It was just fucking people. He damn near hit my son and my mom. They had to jump on off like to the side of the fucking road to not get hit. And when he like, cause since he almost hit them, they said that he like when he realized he almost hit them, he kind of like swerved out and then he comes back into the lane to get in. And when he's coming back in, the very left, driver's side of the bumper, he's in a Jeep, okay? He's an old
Mm.
man. The very front left side of the bumper hit me, like, and it hit me on this side. My phone was on my hip in a reflective bag. Mind you, I had on a white shirt. I had on the pants that had on reflective stripes. I had on a hip purse that was reflective. The whole fucking purse reflective. And this old man did not see me. He hit me. My mom says, I don't remember. My mom says that I flew about 7 feet in the air and then I landed coming down, like trying to grab the rear view, his side mirror.
Yeah,
And
damn.
I knew that happened because this shoulder was hurting when I hit it coming
Yeah.
down. I thought the whole time in my head, you know what I thought? I was underneath the goddamn car. Like
What? Why?
I thought I was ran the fuck over. Like I thought I was done. Okay.
Did it hurt?
Hell yeah, fucking I had a fractured fibula. So what happened was like, so when I ended up hitting the floor, I rolled so fucking hard over into the fucking bush and mud and all kind of shit. I ended up in like this weird position, like in almost a split type of shit. And
Mm.
my mom said that the whole time I never dropped that staff. She said that because that staff's never supposed to touch the ground. She said that should never touch the ground. Hmm. Never. She's like, I don't know how you did it, but you never let that thing go. I even landed like this. And when I landed, I couldn't hear anything. Like I'm looking and I see my mom and my son running towards me and the other two people running towards me. And you can see that their mouths are open like they're yelling, but I can't hear shit.
Yeah.
I was deaf for like a couple minutes. And then like it was like a movie, like how it comes like, no! Like all of this shit like that. Yeah, it was weird as shit.
Did he stop?
Yeah, he stopped. My mom said, she said, because she saw the whole thing. Her and Izzy saw the whole thing. Izzy was traumatized. That was the first time I heard my son cuss.
Oh yeah.
He wanted to fight the old man. Like, he, like, legit wanted to fight this old man. You almost got my mom. Yeah, he was flipping. And I'm just like, yo, somebody calm my child down. Like, he's tripping. For real. So, my mom said that the way it looks, she said, because I remember like weeks after that, I went to her house and she watched me. And she's like, sometimes I cry and I have nightmares about that shit because I wonder how you still here. She's like, you got hit hard. He was hitting at least 40. plus. I still have scars on the back of my knee on my right side.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even go to the hospital. No, 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 ma'am. No, ma'am. Yo, so I didn't go to the hospital. Police came. They trying to ask me questions. I'm like, y'all get out of my face. Like, this y'all fault. Like, if the cars never removed, like, this would have never happened. Like,
Right.
oh, I'm like, y'all get from my fucking, because I was already, my dad had already put me in one of the vans because they had turned around. Because my mom called them like, yo, turn around. Jeri just got hit. So then they put me in the van. So I'm like, y'all just put me in the van. I ain't waiting for no ambulance. I ain't going to no hospital. Like, let's just go. I'm alive.
But what happened to the old man?
He, bro, not a dent in his shit, boy. Not one dent, because that's a Jeep. It's metal.
I mean,
So,
but did he say sorry at least,
yeah,
or why he
he
did it?
came out. Honestly, I believe he was driven by something negative. Like there was a negative spirit on him that morning, that was trying to stop us from doing what we were doing. Because what we were doing was really powerful. So, you know, trust me, they gonna come either way, through somebody, through something. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
like, because when he came out of the Jeep, because he turned around, and when he got out, like he was kind of like dazed at first, like he didn't know what the fuck was going on, and like he kept like stuttering and all kinds of shit and saying I'm sorry and shit like that. And then when he finally threw himself down to his knees is when he finally like snapped into it and was
Mm.
like, what did I do? What did I do? You know what I mean? And I really didn't want to hear shit on everything I love. I didn't want to hear nothing. I was like, listen, I don't want to hear nothing. Just pay for my phone because you fucked my shit up. Because when I got hit, like my phone, honestly, I love Samsung. Samsung
Same.
promotion for you because they saved my hip. I swear
Yeah.
to God, that phone saved my hip. If that phone was not on my hip would have been fractured, and that would have been worse for me.
So it would crack your screen.
What boy? If it cracked it, man, it fucked it up. Like you can see nothing. You can see nothing. So I told him I was like, listen, I just want you to place my phone. Just when you got the money, call me. Let me know. Place my phone. That's it.
Did
Yeah, he gave me money for my phone. Yeah, he did. He sure did. Like 2 weeks later, but he got it. He's oh
he?
man, I was
Yeah.
this time. But yeah, I didn't go to the hospital or anything. I continued riding along in the van till the end of the run was done. I
Mm.
just had my leg up, said I'm kind of shit. Then I went to the chiropractor to make sure, like, I was not knocked out of alignment in my back.
Yeah.
And then ended up going to an orthopedist to be charged $240 for him to slap a brace on me and tell me to wear it for like a month.
And
Like,
how did that work out? It work out good?
I mean, I still have moments where it hurts and shit like that. I can't sit comfortable sometimes, like, because I know I
Mm.
sit with my legs underneath me. And so I always that's why you see me shifting so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I can't sit comfortable no more. I can't sometimes even sit in Indian style like I like to sit.
Yeah.
It hurts my knee. Yeah, I
So,
guess it's part of getting old too.
oh yeah, boy, I'm feeling that. Boy.
Oh no, you
So
old. You just old, bro. You just fucking old.
I'm older than you, right?
Yes, of
Uh,
course.
oh, what you mean, nigga?
I'm only 21. Stop it.
So, I
You see
I'll
these
let you.
edges? These are 21-year-old edges,
I'll,
man.
I'll let you have that. I don't know what edges look like because my hairline's fucked.
Yeah,
So,
you don't gotta tell me. So I made
yeah,
jerk
nigga.
chicken for the first time, and it's bomb according to my son. I can't wait till I get off this. I'm gonna eat
Yeah.
it. Tear it up.
Tell your son what's up. Yo, okay, question. Earlier we were talking, you said you were gonna tell me about your extraterrestrial experiences.
Oh yes.
Now,
Okay.
I'm an alien guy myself. I have never seen an alien unless it's like one that
But I
does not
love
have.
that you believe in it though, even though you've never seen
Yeah, what up, Izzy? Yeah,
it. See, he said,
what
DJ.
up, man?
Oh yeah.
What's good? That nigga like a grown ass man.
He is. He's taller than me
Jesus
already.
Christ.
He's
That
taller
nigga
than
look.
me already, though.
That
So,
nigga look grown.
so yeah. So okay. So growing up, right, in St. Croix before we moved to Florida, because I moved up there when I was like 10, 11. So
Mm,
growing up, we moved in a lot of different houses. Like we lived in Tantan Terrace, we lived in Rest, we lived in Princess, we lived in Mary's Fancy. You know, lived in several different houses, and in every fucking house was the same thing. So I know it was not my imagination playing with me. As I grew up, I realized what it was. Um, what I used to see was aliens, like literally. And what's crazy, and some people don't, think I'm talking shit, but I'm growing up. You can ask my mom. I never liked watching scary movies for that same reason, because I knew my imagination was very vivid. So I didn't like I didn't watch. I've never watched Scream to this day. Like I've never watched Scream. I've never watched certain things. So I always like, how simple it is. Not every house is gonna have closet doors for the closet.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes you got to do the ghetto thing, put a fucking
Some
pole
curtains.
in or something,
Yeah.
right? So sometimes the curtain be like peeped open like that. You know what I'm saying? Like peeped open and shit.
Yeah.
So I would always see a face of an alien in my closet, like big eyes and everything, like how they normally look in drawings and shit like that, like that. Like, and I would scream the house out, like I mean, mommy, okay, I don't know what the fuck is going on, but mommy, get in here now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I really wouldn't go back to sleep unless she was like, if this is me, if I'm this stylist pen, she's on, like, they literally took a picture and you could not see me underneath her. I would not go back to sleep unless that's how she was on top. She had to be on top of me like that.
Wait. Why?
I realized why when I got older. I was being abducted when I was smaller, but I
Shut
wasn't being.
up.
Listen,
Relax.
that no, listen. I was not being abducted for like how some people get abducted to like for them to create hybrids and shit and have
Yeah.
shit like that. I was not. There's other people that get abducted to see, for them to show, like they give you information, they show you things. That's why growing up, because growing up, I grew up in a Catholic church. Like I was an altar girl. I did baptism, first communion, all of that shit. I did all of that shit. That's how hardcore Catholics we were. And even with that, I always was like, that shit don't make sense. Every time we came out of church, I'm like, Ma, what the pastor said, that didn't make sense. And I'm talking about, I'm a little girl. I'm under the age of 10. And I'm bringing all of this to my mom because obviously, subconsciously, there's something that I know that I've
Mm.
either seen that does not tally up to. You understand? So like all of this I caught on to as I got older, and I started realizing like they do abduct people and for different reasons. Like it's not just to create hybrids, it's not just to take DNA and shit like that, is to also show. That's why a lot of people can talk about this type of shit and say that they actually traveled to this dimension and that dimension because they were abducted. You
Mm.
understand? So that was my experience. So in every house, it was like that.
So every house, it was like you seeing a nigga in the closet watching you.
Mhm. And I realized, like as I said, as I got older, that I was seeing them when they were leaving. That's why when the movie Monsters Inc. This is why I love movies, and I always refer to movies. You remember the cartoon movie Monsters Inc.?
Yeah, with the green eyed Mike Wazowski.
Okay.
Yeah.
You notice how they come to the closets and they used to get the screams of children to energize their planet, but then they realized the laughter was better.
Yeah.
So when I watched that movie, I was like, it clicked a lot of shit to me. I'm not saying that that's what they were getting from me because that's not the case, but I'm saying like, damn, the whole closet shit connected. Like what if they really use the closet as a point of entry? You understand what I'm saying? Because that's where I saw them. So what if that's how they would come in through my closet? Because they could teleport through anything. Come through my closet, grab me, and when they bring me back and they're taking and they're going back out is when I would wake up and see them. You understand? Because a lot of people, when they get abducted, they would report that they woke up during the abduction when they first got abducted, or when they're bringing them back, that they're putting them back in the bed or whatever situation they were in.
But do you think, I mean, obviously you think, so this is a hypothetical, but do you think that aliens would really want to abduct people?
Yes.
because they would. I feel if you could travel anywhere at speed of light, whatever, you're the more superior being. That's like, I mean, that's like us taking ants and
Mm.
and being
That
like,
was wine. I just drank that like a whole sip, like it was juice. That's
whoa,
wine.
whoa, whoa, oh, nice. Now, do you believe in ghosts?
Yes. See, ghosts or spirits, same thing. The thing is that they're vibrating at a different frequency. So if you're not vibrating at that frequency, you're not gonna see them. That's why only certain people can see them, and people call them crazy. But it's because that person is vibrating at that frequency, so they're able to see that spirit. You
Yeah,
understand? I've seen my sister's spirit, and I wouldn't know if it's a spirit or soul. Like I think it's her soul because they say like when you dream is because your soul travels to other dimensions. That's why we have like deja vu and shit like that because
mm,
you have that deja vu because your soul traveled to a future dimension, showed you a picture of your future, and then you when it happens, you be like, yo, this, and then you start saying shit that at the same time and doing and be like, damn, I had this dream already. That's deja vu. That's
yeah.
astral traveling. So when in one of the houses that we were staying in, like my godfather, I have two godfathers. One of them, he always used to buy me every time we move into a new house. He used to buy me a princess bed, like the type that has like the pillars on the side and has like the draperies and shit. So he
Yeah.
would always get me one, right? So I got my own bed. Gio's got her own bed, but we're in the same room. So this in this one house, like my bed is on like there's a wall here. My bed is next to this wall. There's a wall across from me. Her bed is this way, slanted on that wall, and it's a bunk bed because we used to have a lot of sleepovers and shit.
No.
So I woke up in the middle of the night, mind you. I always slept with a nightlight. Again, traumatized as a child because of all this shit that I've seen. I had to sleep with a nightlight on. So I'm sleeping. I wake up and I'm like, I don't know, just like when you just wake up and you just sitting there looking around in the room and shit like that.
Yeah.
I'm just looking around and I look at her, and all of a sudden, like I see this, like it looked like a shadow, basically. So if that's it, so what to me, your shadow is your soul, and that's why vampires don't have a shadow because they have no soul, right? So like when I saw it, like she's sleeping now, mind you, she's knocked the fuck out. And all of a sudden, I see this shit like literally just like sit up like this, and it looked like the head turned, and it didn't have eyes or anything, but you can see the silhouette. So it looked like the head turned and looked at me, and like when it saw me, it jumped back in her body. Like I was not supposed to see that. You
Yeah.
understand? And mind you, I'm young. I was probably maybe 6, 7, and it's people that are really spiritual. They believe like when a child is born, up until like around that age, 7 or so, they can
They can see
see
the
a lot of
spirits.
things that
Yeah.
we cannot see because we're still vibrating at that frequency because we haven't been corrupted and clouded and conditioned with certain thoughts in our mind. You understand?
Mm.
Because even the certain things that we eat, like all these metal food, like canned foods and shit like that, all the how spaghetti, 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 all them canned foods and shit have metals, and those metals they block and they calcify your pineal gland. That's your third eye. That's what keeps you connected to the spirit. You understand?
Do,
So it's
do
like
you do you do mushrooms or acids?
no, I've never. I've ate a mushroom like the cat,
You,
like the actual dried mushroom, but that shit didn't do
nah,
nothing.
I'm talking about to be tripping balls. Like you would enjoy it. I say that to say there was one
And
time.
then I tried mushroom chocolate, like it's called trippy chocolate or something. But that was like honestly, it just had me like mellow, like yeah.
Well, you because
Like literally, I was like,
you gotta take enough to
yeah, I
get
know. I
you
felt
where
like
you
it was a bar and we broke it because it was three of us. So I felt like maybe I should have took that whole bar. Like,
correct
because
correct.
because I have a high tolerance for anything, period. Like even Tylenol, like if I got a toothache or like let's say we have the same toothache pain right now and you pop one fucking ibuprofen 800. You might be good.
What
Now,
ibuprofen comes in 800?
he don't know. That's that medicated one. Okay, that's that prescribed one.
Oh, the big one, the big ones. I thought you, okay,
Yeah.
okay. I thought you meant just like over the counter.
No, 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 no. I mean like the medicated one. So, 'cause
Okay.
yeah, yeah. So you might take one, and you might be great. Like that shit might kill your toothache. Me? Nah. I gotta pop like two or three. I have a very high tolerance. Like, cause I pop one and then like 20, it'll go away. And then like 20 minutes later,
Mm,
it's already thriving again. Like,
mm,
yeah, I burn cause I burn so much fat. My body's always burning shit. So anything
yeah.
I put in, it just burns the fuck out. Like,
You know, when I was in St. Croix, when I was with my ex, she would tell me, and I kind of believe it, about like ghost slaves.
okay, listen. Oh man, ghost slave stories, Ross. I remember that shit growing up in San Fran.
Oh, so
Because
that's okay.
Science Farm used to be like a grave site. It was basically a graveyard for the slaves. So my brother always used to make shit and try to be scaring us, talking about like, if you wake up in the middle of the night and you hear chains, like sound like chains dragging on the floor, that's the slave. Bro, like, so yeah, there's been a lot of ghost stories about that. So I wouldn't doubt that it's been real, like, because I've seen some weird shit too. So it's
Yeah.
I don't listen.
Like they said, drive down Mahogany Road at night, and you will see like
I
ghost
never
slaves.
put anything out because once you realize that we live in a world of illusion and that we are literally living a collective dream. So, and literally anything that we collectively think of, we create. So, if we
Wait,
collectively think and create and believe in ghosts, we created it. You understand what I'm saying?
so,
So,
but now, are you collectively thinking into aliens?
yeah, collectively, we've all thought about aliens. That's why
So,
they.
are we creating it?
No, they were already there. I'm talking about other like dimensions and things like that, like those kind of stuff. That's why they say the mind is a powerful thing, and
Right,
don't think certain things and then don't say certain things because then you create it. So
right.
like, I'm sure at some point growing up, right? Now tell me if I'm lying. You thought, I wonder if there's another world that I'm in and I'm doing the same thing, or if I'm
I
doing
think
something.
I think that now.
Exactly.
So,
So in that sense, I've thought it, you've thought it, I'm
mm,
sure y'all have thought it, right? Okay, that's okay. In that sense, we created another fucking dimension with another world, with ourselves over there doing something else. That's what I
yeah.
mean by that collective dream. You understand? Like the bullshit we live in, the bullshit we've created, as in war, famine, all of that, that's a collective dream. But the creation and like the whole aliens and stuff, that's not. I don't consider that part of the collective dream because I consider our creation was hand in hand with aliens. Like I mean,
What do you think happens when we die?
we have the option of either resurrecting and coming back to this earth or staying the fuck over there on the other side.
You know, I I I, I have a couple theories, but I agree with that theory because
Then.
well, one of my theories is when I did this crazy mushroom trip during the summer, and I mean, hey, this was it was very enlightening. You know what I mean? Like it was nuts. I danced with Beyonce for hours too, but it
Oh
was
God,
yo,
you
it
were
was
shaking
nuts,
that jelly.
huh?
You were shaking that jelly because you
Nah,
believe.
it was African Beyonce. It was the
Oh, okay, okay.
when she came out with that movie, and it
Uh,
was yeah.
okay, I got
But
you.
so my theory is, like you say, like you either pick the human experience or you just stay over and be the maybe the guy that you are. Now, my other theory is, what if, when, like, say I die right now, and then once I die, I just wake up another me, practically doing the same thing with probably just something that's a milligram off or some shit. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So, or if we're resurrected, I believe that maybe you will live as you, but you live every single life. So maybe one life you'll be cool, one life you be rich, one life you be a snitch, one life you be gay, one life you
But
be
you're not
retarded.
gonna
You know
be
what
the
I'm
same
saying?
person. You're not gonna be the same person though.
No, it maybe if you're in a
It would defeat,
this parallel
no,
universe and you're still Jerry.
it would defeat the purpose
Of what?
of your soul evolving. Because listen, if you's a man, right? In
Mhm.
this life, and you're a man that was abusive to women, and then you come back as a man in the next life, and you're abusive to women in the next life. What did you learn from that? You didn't learn shit. That's why.
Right.
This is why, like I know that it's hard for some people to believe anything that the Bible says, but you have to realize that there's a lot of truth between the lies. It's literally hidden in plain motherfucking sight. Okay. One day, because you got to remember, like terminology and the way that words were used back then in those times, the meanings were completely different from now. So, like, for example, generations, that word back then was used differently. The meaning was different. Generations meant your lives that you live, the lives that you resurrect, how many lives you resurrect, right? In this time, generation means your descendants, your bloodline, right? So
Mhm.
Christians got it fucked up and think that, okay, I'm just using it as an example, like, oh, if I sin, my son's gonna pay for it, or my kids are gonna pay for my sins. What kind of fucking creation would that be? That's kind of awkward and very far the fuck off. That if I commit a sin, my child's gonna pay for it. That's not what that means. That means that if I'm a man in this life and I was abusive to every woman that I was with, that means in the next 4 to 5 lifetimes, because it says in the Bible, whatever sins you commit, your next 4 to 5 generations you would pay, right? So people think your next 4 to 5 generations in bloodline are gonna pay, when it really means the next 4 to 5 times that you resurrect, you're gonna pay those sins. So the next 4 to 5 times you might be a woman that gets abused. So that you can feel what it feels like with what you did. You understand what I'm saying?
If I come back and I'm a woman, I pray to God I am a bad bitch, and that I could like get like all the artists and athletes and shit. Like, yo, I
You
want that life.
you a side.
Nigga, I'll have my OnlyFans popping.
You such a thought
Shit.
pocket.
I'm just saying, man.
But yeah, that's
I,
why they say be careful what you do in this life, because you're gonna pay for it in them other life. That's why, like, I feel like, a lot of people always be like, Jackie, you can, like, I have people, like, I know people that are in business that are up there. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're making it. And they be like, Jericho, you can do this and you can do that. You can make so much money. And you know me, Bookie. I don't idolize money.
right.
I really don't. I feel like as long as I can make it by, I'm good. I find happiness in other things. Like, yeah, I like having, cute little clothes, but bitch, I shop at Rainbow. I get the cheapest shit. I'm good.
But wait,
I still look
you
good.
can't say I shop at Rainbow like that. You shop at Rainbow because that's all there is there.
Even when I was in Florida,
And I mean, and
I
Rainbow's a
was going to
live
Didi.
for girls. Like Rainbow, they be having
Didi.
shit for like
Listen,
$4.
in Florida, I was going to Didi's. Didi's is way cheaper than fucking Rainbow. How? Like, hello, I'm a clearance shopper. Okay, I don't, not because I'm cheap. It's just I like to get more for my money. You know what I'm
Hey,
saying?
talk about it. Ain't no wrong with that.
Like, 5 blouses for $50 opposed to fucking 2 shirts for $50. Like,
Yeah,
let's go. So yeah, like, um, we went completely off.
it's all good.
What the fuck?
That was our first time doing that. I mean, what were we talking about? Rainbow?
Before that,
Nah. Nah, about oh yeah, about the your sins and you having
Oh yeah,
to
yeah, 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 yeah.
the generational shit.
Yeah, so that's why you gotta be careful what you do because you're gonna pay for that shit, bro. Like even whatever sins you commit, like now you can as long as you clear your karma and shit, because a lot of us right now are paying for past karma.
But
You-
are you a Christian?
No, I'm spiritual. I have no religion.
So do you believe in that? What the Bible way, man?
I believe certain things in the Bible, and I'm gonna explain to you why, right? Because like in my side, I don't know what you believe as far as how we were created per se as humans, but I believe that that was created. We were created by different gods, okay? And it
Okay.
clearly fucking states it in the Bible. It's just people bypass it, and it's in the very first chapter of the very first book in the Bible in Genesis. Like, but people bypass it because it's so much shit above it and then below it and between it that you bypass it. But it clearly says you can look it up later. It's Genesis chapter 1, verse 26. Um, and God said, let us, who is us? Let us create man in our image. Who's
Mhm.
us and our? Like, bro, who's us and our? If it was only one person that created us, who's
Right.
our? But obviously, there's one that reigns above all, just like, for example, Greek mythology when it comes to
You know
Zeus.
what? I actually fact checked you, and you're right. Look at Jerry knowing her Bible verses.
Hello, I was an altar girl.
Okay.
Like, I'm full of
Okay.
shit.
I never realized that. Let us make humankind in our image according to
Who's
our likeness.
who is us and who is our? If it was one that created every fucking different race on this earth, who's us and our? It just don't make no sense. They could not. You see, there's certain things that they couldn't like. They couldn't like leave out. They had to put it in because in order to brainwash people, you really put the truth between the lies because people are so divulged with the lies around the shit that they completely bypass the truth because the lies be so pretty. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's just it's fucking crazy. Like I like okay, you like I was saying with Greek mythology, how you guys do, who was like the god above all, right?
Mhm.
But then you have Ares, the god of war, and then you got Hades, the god of the underworld, and Aphrodite, and all all of that, all of that. I wouldn't say like in that expansion, but put it this way, right? Like let's say right there was seven different dynasties in the universe, right?
Right.
Seven, and they all live in their own dimension, right? And they all came together. The royalties of each, you know, um, species from each dimension come together, and they're like, "Yo, why don't we create a dimension with a solar system, with some planets on it, with some people on it, and we all put in our own DNA into creating these people and see how we all can coexist and live with each other because we don't live with each other. We all live differently. Like they live differently than the people from Planet Vega. They live differently from the greatest Zeta Grays. They live differently from the Guinea Grays. You understand what I'm saying? Like all of them, they live different from the Draconians and the Reptilians. You understand? All these different races, they live differently. So they're like, let's get together, let's make a creation each our own, and see how we can coexist and see how they can evolve and
Yeah.
become their highest self. Because like everybody's always wondering like what's the purpose of life? Literally, it was we were created to evolve from fucking scratch. From scratch.
It's
That's why
possible.
that's why like half our DNA came from because the only part of our DNA that they were able to decode is the Neanderthal side. That's where science comes in. If you take science and you take the Bible and you put it together, you basically got your answer. You just gotta weed out certain different things. You know what I'm saying? Eliminate
Yeah.
certain shit. But just like how they segregate races, they literally took what how life and everything came together, and they split it, and they said science and religion.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? And it's to keep people separated and segregated in their thoughts, because if collectively we're on the same fucking level, we're a force to be reckoned with. You understand what I'm saying? And they don't want that. Well, the powers that really, trying to control everything that goes on down here. They don't want that
Okay.
shit.
I like that. I like your way of your thought process. It's a beautiful mind, Miss Jerica. Yes, it is.
I try. I try.
So we are about at an hour. Is there anything else you want to touch on, or any last words?
No, not really.
Where, how's Gio?
She's there. She's
Y'all live together?
no, she's back on her friend.
Oh, okay, that's
Yeah.
cool.
Living her life and me just here.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
Eh,
I'm about to tell you. I know about it,
I know, nigga. I got some wings too. Whew.
I got these jerk chicken wings, bro.
But so any last words before you go?
Any last words? Okay, my biggest suggestion to everybody, like research. Like most of us were conditioned to think what we believe right now,
Yeah,
and that we were conditioned because our parents were conditioned through their parents, who were conditioned through their parents, and so on and so forth. But really and truly, we're in the era of information. All this shit is out there. It's
yeah,
literally out there. It's just people are too complacent and they don't want to do the fucking work to research, but they would sit there all day with their Twitter fingers and Facebook thumbs.
right,
It's like that same thumb energy you got, fucking Google and do some research. And like how they say when you go to a doctor, don't just go to one doctor, go to two, three doctors, get different opinions. Do the
yeah,
same thing when you're doing research. Don't just go to one link, go to two, three, four different links. Compare and contrast all the information that you find out. The dark web really does exist. There really is like not just the dark web where they have like the black market and shit, but there is the dark web where you find this kind of information because there are people out there giving this shit out there. So, because
yeah,
it's time that we know the truth. It's time,
right.
and I thank you for bringing me on this platform to talk about this kind of stuff. So I sometimes I be wanting to do a live and just do it, but then it's be like I'm just gonna be talking to myself.
Right. I know, like this shit. I tried to do a couple by myself, and it only ends up like 7 minutes, and it's just I
Yeah,
can't do it by myself.
yeah, and I've done it a couple times and had some people come in and then they ask me questions and we talk and people that are my Facebook friends. But sometimes it just I guess the timing of the day or whatever. And when I'm ready to talk, I'm just ready to talk. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
just ready to let it out. So I'm grateful that you let me on here so we can talk. We went all
I
over
thank
the
you for
place.
being on. Huh?
I said we went all over the place. If you
I
ever
know.
again, we can get more into like some deeper stuff, like
Yeah.
some more witchy stuff, like
We.
sexy and stuff like that.
No,
Yeah,
for real, we can.
yeah, because a lot of y'all men out there bonded to women, y'all don't even know it.
You said we what?
A lot of men out there are binded to women
Uh,
that they were in a relationship with at some point, and they don't even know it. So we can get on that another time.
all right, yes, because I was gonna ask you, but then I feel like that's gonna go on. So
No,
yeah.
we can talk about it on the personal, and so that way you can look into it. And if you really want to have a conversation about it, then we can do it another time.
All right, sounds good.
Alrighty, thank you
Well,
for.
thank you, Jerry. Love you, man.
I love you. I'm
All
so glad
right,
you're good.
have fun with your jerk chicken. Well, hopefully enjoy your jerk chicken.
Oh, I'm gonna tear that shit
All
up.
right, see
All right,
ya.
bye.
Um, another great episode of Moke and Friends. Thank you everybody for watching. Thank Jerica. Man, living that island life is great. Next week we have some pretty good guests. I don't want to give it up yet, but we do. And man, thank y'all for watching. Love you, mom. Love you, kids. Love you, my brother. Everybody. I just love everybody. Peace. Peace.